it appears, because we haven't seen the papers yet, they're not yet released, as though the judge did the following. He found, as did the federal trial judge Henry Hudson in Richmond, Virginia, about a month and a half ago, that the requirement that individuals purchase health insurance is beyond Congress's ability. Stated differently, the Constitution doesn't authorize the Congress to make individual people buy something.
Not anything.
Not anything.
Not health care, not cars, not nothing.
Correct. Whether it's hats to prevent you from, to protect you from skin care, whether it's health insurance. He then ruled that because there is no severability clause in this, meaning if one part of it is unconstitutional, the whole thing is. It is therefore the entire act is unconstitutional. Now, Judge Hudson did not do that. Judge Hudson in Virginia ruled that only the individual mandate is unconstitutional.
This was the previous lawsuit, which the Obama administration also lost.
Correct. So now we have 4 lawsuits. We have 2 federal judges, one in Pennsylvania, one in Michigan, saying it is constitutional, one in Virginia, one in Florida, saying it is not constitutional. Of course, these cases will all make their way to the Intermediate Appeals Court and then eventually to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Now, of interest to many of our viewers, I'm sure, will be that he has not said this law can't go forward, and I guess the reason for that is because it doesn't go into effect for a couple more years.
Correct. The people challenging it, the attorneys general, the physicians, the health care providers, the insurance company executives, and the individual private citizens asked this judge to enjoin the enforcement of it, meaning to sign an order preventing the government from enforcing it. Well, since the individual mandate doesn't come into effect until 2014, there's nothing to stop the government from enforcing it. Cannot enforce it until 2014. By then, this judge expects, and I agree with him, the case will have reached the Supreme Court of the United States.
All right. A lot of people love this health care law.
Right.
In fact, I think the polls show a majority is there now. I'm not sure about that. I'll look it up. It's
close.
It's pretty evenly
You know, it's a
split.
little different now than it was when it was being debated and when it was voted on a year ago.
And that's what the administration had thought would happen all along, that once people realized what this was doing for them and their neighbors, that they would be happier with it. That has been the case with some people. That has not been the case with a lot of other people. So for those who are like, good, this is unconstitutional, just like I thought, really nothing's changed.
Well,
Not
no,
yet.
except that the parts of it that a lot of people like, even people that think that Congress should have nothing to do with this, like, for example, if you have pre-existing injuries or ailments, your insurance carrier cannot reject your coverage because of that. Even that is out. The states raising taxes and spending the money as the federal government has told them to, that is out. The health insurance carriers being told you have to spend 85% of premiums collected directly on health coverage. You can't spend more than 15% on administrative matters. That is out. All 2,700 pages of this have now been found unconstitutional. Can the government enforce them during the appellate process? Yes, it can.
It can enforce them.
Yes, because he did not sign what the plaintiffs asked for, the injunction, which would have prevented them from enforcing it while it's on appeal. That would have sent the federal government to a federal appeals court this afternoon. It doesn't have to do that.
This is another one of those nobody's going to be happy out of this.
This is another one of those that nobody's going to be happy, but the people who are challenging this, saying Congress can't force you to buy something, which is the guts of the challenge. And let's face it, Shep, whatever you think of the aspects of this, the individual mandate is the heart and soul of it. The folks that believe, as do I, that the Congress doesn't have the authority to do this will be gratified by this opinion. This is more ammunition with which a federal appeals court can affirm.
All right, just as an aside for our viewers, and this won't mean as much to you because you're not watching these silly wires every day, but look at this from camera 3 over here. These are all healthcare alert. Can you widen out and show? There's more of it down there, but look, watch as I scroll through here. And you're familiar with this scrolling process, right? This is all healthcare overhaul alerts, and the reason there's so many of them is they're sending them to all the affected states as individual alerts for each individual state, and sending it over national wires. And here in the middle, we find out Liverpool has agreed to transfer the fee with Chelsea for Spain's striker Fernando Torres, which is also a very big story, but it has nothing to do with health care, and probably a lot of Americans don't care, but I do.
Well, you know, this is great. Your viewers now see what we see. This is how we get a lot of our information instantaneously.
I have never seen this many news alerts on one subject at one time in the 15, 16 years I've been doing this.
Well, we have all been waiting for this all day. Apparently, the judge, dotted a few I's and crossed a few T's because we were expecting this at 10 o'clock this morning.
And here is the final word on this, and we'll move on because there's a lot of other news today. In a challenge by 26 6 states, Judge Roger Vinson, Pensacola, ruled that because the individual mandate is unconstitutional and not severable, meaning you can't break it out from the rest of the thing,
right,
the entire act must be declared void. And there you have it, and there you go.
And an appeal will probably be filed by the government within 30 days.
And we'll rock this right onto the Supreme Court, and by the time I'm dead, it'll be fixed.
I think it'll be ruled on in about 3 years. Bear in mind that there are 12 other cases before 12 other federal district court judges out there ready to pop.
Get it on now. Judge, thank you.
Pleasure, Shep.